What is going on? What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Into the Dojo podcast. I'm gonna just get right into it. I hope you guys enjoyed the cash grab. I mean fight between Logan Paul and is it Logan or Jake? I don't fucking know. Anyway, Logan or Jake, who gives a flying fuck, and Floyd Mayweather. So first things first, if you paid for the fight and you're upset, shut the hell up, because you deserved to lose your money. The fact that you were dumb enough to think that this was anything other than a money grab from Floyd and from Jake. I mean, he made reportedly 100 and something million. Like, you just lined this man's pockets, and you're gonna be on. People are gonna be on Twitter mad, say I wasted my money, this, that, and the third. If you were like, you should be smart enough to know, especially if you are a fight fan. If you are a person that watches fights, you need to be slapped. Number one, because of the technology that we have, everything is posted on social media. So you could have seen the fight. I literally could see the fight somewhere like at 2 hours after it happened. Like, it just isn't worth it. And then what it does, I feel like it diminishes sport, because I mean the UFC had a nice card the night before where Jairzinho Rosenstrike got back in the win column with a vicious knockout of his opponent of Sakai, and no one gave a damn. But this like circus act that's Logan and Jake Paul doing what they're doing in the boxing ring is what gets the attention. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, ah, but it is what it is. On to real fighting. UFC card is coming up. Israel, the last stylebender Adesanya, is going to be running it back with Marvin Vettori. His second fight in the UFC. He will be running it back with this angry gentleman who is still saying that he believes that he won that first fight. Some will say he did. Some will say he didn't. I'm in the Adesanya camp, so I'm a little biased, but it's gonna be fun to see him running back with some new guys after the Blachowicz loss, just to see how he bounces back from that. The only thing I will say though, people, and this I get, this is a lot of people who just have never fought. Just people like think, especially like I mean, boxing is kind of, and Izzy alluded to that when he after he lost. Boxing has like made losing a very almost impossible thing. Like, you have these boxers with these 36-0 records and all these other things, because I mean you can pad your record very well in boxing and have people job out to you and get these amazing records and maybe not be that spectacular in comparison. MMA, especially with it being such a new sport, it's very hard to do that. Like, it's rare to be able to pad your record like that. I mean, certain cases, like certain like promotional things and little cards here or there might be able to pad a match or two, but you're not gonna find a person that's like 30-0. Like, it could be, it's rare. Like, it's super duper rare, because it's just so many variables. I mean, you might go up in weight, you might go down in weight, and then it's not just the hands. It's the feet. It's chokes. It's wrestling. It's everything. It's everything. Um, so that does make it very varied. From sport to sport. Even like if you go just from boxing to kickboxing, it's almost impossible for a person to stay undefeated in kickboxing, because it's just a very different sport. You're not allowed to do certain things that you're allowed to do when you box. There are a lot of rules that you don't have to follow in boxing necessarily. I mean, there's a lot of things that you get to do that really aren't allowed to be done in a sport where someone can kick me in the face or knee me in the face. You know what I mean? I can't just like wing my head down there because I'm gonna eat a foot on the way down there. But anyway, it's gonna be interesting to see how he bounces back from the Blachowicz loss. People say, well, he got held down, taken down, blah blah blah. I mean, the dude was what, 30 pounds heavier. I mean, that's just a big difference. Like, people are also forgetting that. Like, he's 30 pounds heavier than the guy. Izzy was what, 4 pounds under the weight limit. So he's like 4 pounds under the weight limit. You're 30 pounds heavier. I mean, you get him on the ground, you lay on him. It is what it is. Uh, Yeah, granted, yeah, Blachowicz did beat him fair and square. Shouts out to him. But Vittori is not Jan Blachowicz. He's not 3 times the size of Izzy. I don't see him doing what Blachowicz did to him just because the size difference is not there. And that does make a difference when you're, especially when you're incorporating grappling and things like that. Like, it does make a difference. But it should be a fun fight. Also on the card, we have the Davidson Figueiredo rematch. That fight ended in a draw. That was a freaking barn burner. They were just going. Those dudes went to absolute war, and I like those fights. I love fights like that just because like it allows for more parity, and it allows us for like to have those like legendary rivalries. I mean, you have like the Holloway Volkanovski. You had like the Randy Couture and Chuck Liddell rivalry. You had well, no, they only fought once. I was gonna say Gus and DC, but they only fought once. I guess like John Jones and Alexander Gustafsson, John Jones, Daniel Cormier, um, Misha Tate, and Ronda Rousey, like just stuff like that, where you can just like build these large rivalries where these guys go back and forth and back and forth, and it's good to see. It's good to see because it's just not one person like going through the motions and just going through opponents. They have that one person that it's like, okay, every time I fight this person, maybe they make me struggle, or there's always something about them that I hate dealing with, or whatever. It's good to have. It's great to have. So I'm glad to see like multiple runbacks in this card, and then of course, I am glad to see the legend himself, man. One of the owners of the Stockton Slap, Nate Diaz, and it's crazy that his name itself is basically a nickname. Like he doesn't have a fighter name. I mean, typically, I mean you have Anderson the Spider Silva, John Bones Jones, Israel the Last Stylebender Adesanya, freaking excuse me, Rampage Jackson, Sugar Rashad Evans, Sugar Sean O'Malley. Like you have all these people with all these different names. I mean, Mighty Mouse, the Magician, John Dotson, and then you have these guys where it's just like he's just Nate Diaz. He's literally just Nate Diaz, and it's funny because like he's literally been like hood as fuck his entire career. I mean, dude came out on stage smoking a joint, not giving a care in the world, and I mean people eat that stuff up because he's not putting on a show. Where it's like someone like Kobe Covington, there's a lot of show in him. There's a lot of like the WWE big suits and pageantry and all these things, but then when he's in other avenues he's very quiet, he's very calm, he's very respectful, and people can sometimes pull the blinds from out of guys like that because they're not really authentic. Whereas like the Diaz brothers, I mean, they are straight from the hood, straight out of Stockton. I mean, they are those dudes ready to fight at the drop of a hat, and people eat that up, and it's crazy because like he has like more fanfare than some of the people that own belts in the UFC. Like more people want to worry about what Nate Diaz is doing than maybe the co-main event. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the return of the king, return of the guy who really hasn't gotten the best deal in his fight career. I mean, he won tough, and I think that was the year that they changed it to not give you a title shot after you win tough, which is, in my opinion, not was kind of messed up. Like if you're gonna have a precedent, keep that precedent the same throughout. Don't just switch it up one season. I mean, like that costs guys money. I mean, title shots mean money, so it is what it is. And then like much later on down the line, he fought Benson Henderson. Kind of got dominated, lost that decision, but it is what it is. Then of course, unfortunately, he lost the BMF belt to George Masvidal, which he was getting beat down in that fight too. But it happens, man. It happens. But I'm glad to see him back versus Leon Edwards. Leon had that fight with Bilal Muhammad where he unfortunately poked him in the eye and they had to stop the fight. Eye pokes freaking suck. I don't know what they could do with them. I know there have been like talks about changing the gloves and things like that, but who knows? I mean, it happens. Like, it happens when you fight. Your eyes are a target. Sometimes people accidentally get you in the eye. As part of the fight game, it is the hurt game for a reason. But it is what it is. I'm very interested to see how this fight card turns out. If I had to give my prediction, just because I'm a fanboy, I gotta go Diaz. Diaz taking it over Edwards. I would hope by submission. Maybe he can get a little. I don't. Maybe he can get a little fancy. I mean, you know, what I mean, throw a go plot out there. You know what I mean. Throw some little saucy out there. Get him with something. Get him with something nice, man. Show them that you still with the action or whatever. You know what I'm saying. But him winning by submission, I would guess. For the co-main event, I think that Davidson Figueiredo is gonna retain his title. Um, just because like that dude is just so determined. I mean, he works super hard. He's a warrior. I think he's gonna retain his title. I think it's probably gonna go to distance once again, but I feel like he'll probably just edge him out in order to get that victory. And then for the main event of the evening, I definitely have to say that I will go with the Style Bender. Um, what is it now? 19 and 1 or 20 and 1 or whatever it is. I think he's gonna bounce back just fine from the Blachowicz loss. I don't think there's really anyone at middleweight that can take him out. I think he'll go on an Anderson Silva like run, rattle off probably 7, 8 victories or whatever. Maybe try his hand again at light heavyweight, and then figure out what in the absolute hell John Jones is doing. I mean, he's going out real bad, and I mean, he can go to another organization, which I'm sure like the UFC doesn't want, but I mean, they're like, I don't think they're gonna. I don't think John is in a position to get the price that he's asking, whatever that price is. So we shall see. But I'm super excited to see just to see this fight card, man. Last week I was dealing with some issues with my voice. I don't know what the hell was going on. I just could barely talk. I was just feeling all congested and stuff. So I had to get all that stuff literally out of my system, and I am back with more content. And of course, I'm going to be bringing some more stuff to you very, very soon. I've got some interviews lined up with some different professionals, some in martial arts, some in film, some in radio, or not radio, some in music, excuse me, like whatever in the Atlanta area. And I'm just trying to build more content for you guys, man. But please share my videos. That is the easiest way to grow an audience. Just share. For those who hit me up and say, well, how can we get more people to listen to you? Fucking share. So all you gotta do is you gotta take the link that you're watching me on, and you copy it, and then you send it to people, or you post it on Twitter, and post it on Facebook, and that is how you help me out. No, I'm just talking shit, but for real though, if you want to help anything like that, definitely just share. That is how things grow, regardless of what it is. Word of mouth is always king. But thank you for those who have shown me mad love. Thank you for those that listen to me on a regular basis. But with that being said, man, I am about to get up out of here. I hope you guys enjoy this fight card this weekend, and we shall see who is going to be the champs, and if the King of Stockton himself is going to be back in action this Saturday. Thank you guys so much. And we must now exit the dojo. Us.